Hello guys, this is part 2 to the series I had going before. It is now time to oil the filters. They've had a good amount of time to dry. They feel quite dry, both of them. See the slight differences in these two filters. The high performance one that I have for my engine is a lot bigger, a lot longer. And it's actually a little bit denser. If you look, it's hard to see how close, but you can see this one's more open. This one's more meant for breathing, but it'll stop less of the really tiny debris. This one will stop a lot of the tiny debris. And the pre-filter has just been sitting on the heater for a little while. And it's a little more damaged up because it's the part that actually gets the most abuse on the outside of the engine. Anyways, to start this project, you need a bag, you need your filter, the whole assembly, and the tool to assemble the filter. You may also need zip ties. It's one thing if you do start to this is my small toolbox for in here, but here is a small toolbox I use for nitro only. I have one for the helicopters and planes too. It's got an extra bearing, it's got an extra shaft, it's got an extra glow plug, screws, and the bottom I even have fuel line up there. Bottom I have more zip ties. I have all the extra parts that I got with the truck. I got tools for opening and extra arms and stuff for this truck. And there's my truck that's still running quite well, but it doesn't like the winter in the least. This one I'm just doing some repairs on, but it needs to be fixed a little more. I just bought this one from a friend. Still needs a little more work. This is the one that you saw racing last night. Anyways, let's get back to the filters. Materials that you need are the bag, filter, screwdriver or hex key depending what your type is, and filter oil. I'm going to start off by putting the filter into the bag, like so. I'll put both filters just so I can do them at the same time. Then you take your filter oil, open it up, and just pour some of the oil in onto the filters. You don't have to be perfect with this part because soon you'll be squeezing around. I don't know exactly how much oil to put into the bag, but whatever excess is in the bag we'll use for the next. And now seal it up. Just give me a second. There you go. Now pretty much you're just trying to squeeze that blue oil into both of the filters, or just one filter if you happen to have one in the bag. You're trying to get them evenly blue. My other filter is already blue, so it's sort of harder to tell, but the second filter, this one, you can see is just half blue. So you have to add more oil until it is completely coated, but it shouldn't be heavily coated. I'll add more oil to this bag. Sorry it's taking a little longer than it normally does. It's the first time I've done this on video. Anyways, if you add too much oil in the bag, who cares? It'll be used for the next bunch. Anyways, you're trying to squeeze the oil all the way through. So try and just squeeze it together. So that all the way to the inside is covered in oil. Once you have that, your filter will look like it's oozing a bit of oil. You take it out. You have a nice coated oil filter, air filter, sorry. Now you take a bit of toilet paper. You just wrap it up. And then just give it a light squeeze. And this will take off the excess oil off of the filter. You'll have to do the same thing with the other filter, but it's basically how it goes. You take your filter that's just been oiled, now you start the reassembly. For this one it is really simple. You take the sleeve, stick it into the filter. These filters are all different, so you'll never know what you have to do for your filter until you try and take it apart. Then this sleeve just goes on to the next one. Make sure the bottom of the filter is seated inside this little lip. It'll help seal it. Then you have your lid, which goes on top. Then you have your screw, which goes in the top. There's a little washer on the screw, make sure it's still there. Now you take your hex key, tighten it down, and then the last two parts are put it onto the pipe. I just took the pipe off so I can clean the inside the pipe of excess fuel and dirt possibly gotten past. Take your sleeve. Sleeve is just an extra pre-filter that helps keep the blue one clean. And that's it. I'll show you how to put it on the truck. This one's on my high performance truck, so it's a little easier to put on. I'll do an explanation what the differences between these two trucks are later. There's my carb. Normally if you take anything off your carb so it's open, put something into the hole to keep from stuff getting in. Now you just push it onto the sleeve, and now make sure there's clearance around so it can breathe, and that's it. The second air filter is just about the same, except there's no sleeve in the middle, and it's a lot shorter. Anyways guys, the next little video I'll do in a few minutes is how to sort of waterproof a servo. Because these servos are general servos, they aren't water resistant, and when they get wet they tend to glitch up in different ways. Anyways guys, back in a little while, have a good one.